Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Vino Volley. I'm your host, Michael Wall, and along with me on this ride, as always, is my co-host, Ryan Rebecca.
Back in action.
It feels like forever. It does feel like it's been a while. We had this on the books a little bit sooner, but
Mhm.
as we know, I let my own anxiety and neuroses get to me. I thought I was getting the stomach bug that my daughter had, and I let my mind run away with it. And but we're here. We're happy to be here.
Sure
Rye,
are.
what's new, my friend?
Just like a junior high school boner, spring has sprung. And daylight savings time, while it jams up every part of my household, I love having the sun out till 7 at night.
It is great. Daylight savings though, and I asked our English companion if they have it as well. They do. It's not on this obviously the same month as us, but they have it. This is obviously my favorite type of daylight savings. Like I enjoy it being lighter later, but
Yes.
man, does it really fucking jam you up. Eleanor was an absolute basket case, like hated life. I messed up the time and had a coffee too late, was up till it was just a horrible, horrible start. I was like, for what? For farmers? Right? Because that's right. It was
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the old
yeah,
rule that they wanted extra time to work the fields
yeah.
in the fall. But
Well,
we have electricity now.
work in the dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Farmers.
So, listen, I'll
So
tell you one thing. I grew up next to a farm. They ain't working out too late.
I mean I would say this is more for like Midwest. Like I
Rural,
don't think this is for like the
rural
Ashland
Joe.
farmers or right?
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Paulson, the
Pulse
finest apples.
that yeah, that you never paid for.
Well, sure didn't.
You know,
Stolen acres, corn, pumpkins, apples, gourds,
gourds,
aplenty. A cornucopia in my backyard.
just all
Just
the
like the
adjectives
looms
in
of
it.
fruit, cornucopia, even though there isn't a cornucopia in the logo. Mandela effect. Anyway, it's
That
nice
was a
out.
lot.
It was. It's nice out. Spring soccer season's around the corner. We had a very exciting weekend of soccer, even though it was completely anxiety provoking.
Oh my God.
Stood the entire game.
That's why I had a coffee after the game.
Oh,
I
you can't do that.
was drained, but I mean, we talked about it, obviously. I've kind of gone back and forth. Like I let social media hype me up. Like obviously Twitter was just like, oh, that's a penalty. I watched it when I watched it real time. I was like, you know what? If VAR overturns this, I'll be delighted.
Yeah,
But I wasn't, I don't think I would have, I wasn't like flabbergasted
yeah.
that it wasn't. And I know that if it was the other way around, I would have felt really hard done if that was the way the game ended. But I mean, I said this, it's the best I've ever seen them play. I mean, they've won games before, but this was the most dominant performance where I was like, they're the better 11. And they're the better 11 without one of your starting right back,
Yep,
your starting center back,
yep.
your starting like star winger. You know, so many people were injured and you put a team that gave Kevin De Bruyne his lowest passing percentage in his entire career.
Yeah, put
Like
them into a fit.
that's how dominant it was. It was and end to end, it was amazing. Even when they conceded the first goal, I wasn't like, oh well, that's it. It was just like they keep doing the game. They're gonna find it. They did. It was unbelievable. And I think, as much as I would love to be 10, 11 points ahead, I love our position. I think there's a lot of twists and turns left in the season.
Mhm.
Just excited to enjoy every minute of it for Klopp's last ride.
It was definitely a game that I would recommend that non-soccer people watch. Even if you don't have a skin in the game, just be like, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
End-to-end action, super exciting. I can't tell you how many times during the game I was like, oh no, and just like curled into my couch, like, I can't watch. It's like someone came dribbling into the box. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, now I can breathe again. Emotional roller
Eleanor
coaster.
Eleanor was at a birthday party, so they were out for most of it. And like, she was just like, she comes in and she's like, Dada, like, who's winning? I was like, no one's winning, sweetie. And she's like, did any of the cheaters? And I was like, cheaters? And she's like, yeah, like they fall down when. And I was like, no, sweetie. I was like, no one's a cheater. And she was just asking me all these questions. I'm like, sweetie, I was like, I just like riddled with like crippling anxiety right now. I was like, just like, let me let me watch this game.
And
But
then you made the professional decision to chase it with a coffee at
oh my, I
4 or
just like,
3 at the, in
so
the
because
afternoon.
Jess had a tennis match, and so we were kind of like, we were on the couch and just hanging out, and I just like started to yawn. I was like, all right, and she just was like, seemed pretty jazzed. I was like, all right, I need something to just like take the edge off, like, and then I was just like, I took it down because I just got a brand new. By the way, shout out to Ninja. I just got their barista system, coffee and espresso combo with a built-in frother. So I made
Oh,
myself a nice,
work yourself right up to a froth.
yeah, so I downed it and then looked and I was just like, fuck, it's 4:30. Like this is not going to end well. And I went
Well,
to bed at 2 a.m.
at what point are you like, I need something to take the edge off? Let me introduce
It
a
wasn't
hundred
it
milligrams
wasn't
of
take the
caffeine
edge
into
off.
my
I needed
body.
to, like I was on edge for the entire game that like once I came down, I had nothing in the tank. I was just like this is like how I mean, it says a lot about just how, like, probably like my physical and mental state. Like, there's no reason why that should affect me as much. Like, I probably took at least a year off my heart health. So I needed something to pick the beats back up. And
Understood.
just a delicious,
Gotta bring the beat back.
iced brown sugar espresso from my homemade coffee machine
That would have just poured right through me.
but yeah, then I sat down on the couch and at 1:40 I was still watching like just mindless TV and be like, this is stupid. I'm a fucking idiot. And waking up. Thankfully I could work from home because I was just like, just going through it.
I gotta get right.
Oh my God. But anyway,
Mike, we got a doozy today.
we do. And before we get into that, there are some quick housekeeping items. One, I'll bring up the my notes for the Mike Wall Honesty Hour. So one is when we spoke last time, I was talking about we talked about Paul Pogba and how like he needed that alpha, and I talked about there was an interview
A doping
with
piece of shit.
right, and there was an interview with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I believe I said that the interviewer was Alan Shearer. I said it was
Yeah.
Alan Shearer. It was not. It was Gary Leichner. So
Okay.
Gary Leichner was the interview. So small potatoes, but we're nothing if not honest. Now,
That's true.
the other one, which I'm like kicking myself that I haven't brought it up earlier. So my brother-in-law, Scott, just oldest brother, found, I don't know how he found this, but apparently there are certain words in German that have no like English equivalent.
Makes sense.
There is a word called Backpfeifengesicht.
Bless
I
you.
think I got that pretty good, right? Backpfeifengesicht.
I can't see it, so I can't help you with the pronunciation.
Oh, right. Here, let me share my screen.
And I once went through a German dictionary one time.
Where are you going with this?
No, I just know some German.
Oh,
Yeah, like ich habe Durchfall.
that means
I have diarrhea. I told that to one of my I told that to one of my students the other day who's from Germany.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, like your English is so great. He's like, yeah. He's like, we learn everything over there, 2 languages. And I was like, you know what I know in German? And he looked at me like, this fucking guy is my teacher. And I was like, yeah, let me follow it up with Krankenwagen, which is like the drunk paddy wagon that just like takes you home.
All right.
Anyway.
So sharing the screen. Backpfeifengesicht.
I think you nailed it.
Okay. So the
You
beauty
didn't yell it loud enough, but
so the beauty of it is what it means is, and it translates to a face that is badly in need of a fist, a punchable face.
love it.
So we may be in the future, maybe especially if when we transition to the Bundesliga, we bring in the Backpfeifengesicht. It's fun to say.
Yeah.
All right. So now I think it's time we get officially engaged. Be good?
I'm dialed in.
All right. So to all our Vino Volleyers out there, it is time to pop those corks, indulge in a healthy pour, and dive stud showing into today's episode. So in honor of Women's Appreciation, it's a historic day for Vino Volley as we're gonna have the first of 2 of this month. We're gonna have our first guests in this case, and we will introduce them shortly. But as you always try and tie the wine to the episode, our guest today is going to be Jamie Smith, formerly Sussman, and her husband Matt Smith. who I know loves me using her maiden name. So I just put it in there just for emphasis. But the wine we're going to be drinking is in direct relation that Jamie is of Jewish heritage. So this is an Israeli wine. So Rye Guy, well, I want you to tell us a little bit about this
Oh,
vino we're going to be partaking in.
set the table. Pull up a chair. This is Dalton Canaan Red from 2021. I have wine.com up right here. It scored a 92 on Wine Enthusiast. So setting the bar a little high. Usually averages price-wise around $19.99. You can speak to that as you picked it up.
It's been so long ago. I don't.
All right. The winemaker notes. Canaan is an easy drinking, medium bodied red wine with sweet fruit with notes of black pepper, cherries, and plums, low tannins, and soft vanilla notes. This is a wine with very few pretensions and is made for immediate consumption. Love that last line.
Immediate.
Fucking jam it down your throat. Anyway, there's one more paragraph. Wine.com really going in depth with this. The Canaan wines were made with the Israeli climate and cuisine in mind, so they're particularly suitable for Mediterranean cuisine. Red Canaan is a good accompaniment to pasta, pizza, poultry, and mixed grills. Also an excellent party wine. This is speaking to me already.
Now, typically at this point, this is where I walk across the table and we do our official cheers. We're going to hold off on that because we're going to have our first guest, and I want to introduce them so that they can cheers with us. They can, obviously we can chat a little bit, and then we can get going into the wine for the initial review. So that, Jamie and Matt, would you like to say hello to all the Vino Volleyers out there?
Hello, Volleyers.
Hello, Vino Volleyers. Thank you for having us.
We are so happy to have you as our first guest. So
we're honored to be here.
Are you?
Yes.
You should be. Matt's just kind of along for the ride. This is really your show, but
Let's be honest, it's always my show.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna lean on him a little heavier on the second half with now we're getting back to our roots of most punchable face.
I've got to hold in a lot of violence lately.
I already forgot it. Gepfeifen. I'm gonna watch this German word. Backpfeifen Gesicht. Ooh, I got a little more guttural than that one. So, Jamie, Matt, do you have a nice glass of red in front of you?
We do.
Okay, so at this point in time, we do an official cheers. All right.
I like when I'm smelling on the nose right away. It smells very familiar.
Really got to get your honker in there.
Oh, I'm burying my beak in this.
I got a lot of honker.
Yeah, Matt, use what God gave you, and that's what they call it. That's a schnoz. Is schnoz a Jewish word? Is that a Jewish?
Yiddish.
Yiddish?
I believe so.
Yeah, we'll take it.
You do have a good sense of smell.
Yeah, Matt, do you smell anything? Do you smell berries? Do you smell tobacco, vanilla, anything like that?
I'm off right now.
Really?
Y'all jammed up?
I smell like
No, I just.
I mean,
this tasting notes from Wine Enthusiasts are
right.
All
you
over
can.
the place.
There's no wrong answers here. Like, okay, we read on wine.
Did you read florals?
It's floral notes in there, like a bouquet. I thought you said bouquet.
No.
It doesn't mean.
Oh yeah, sorry. And the Wine Enthusiast said deep black cherry colored wine is a bouquet of brambly fruits of the wood and dried sage leaf.
Wood.
Brambly.
Wood.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good legs. Good color.
Licorice. Mint.
It's dark.
Dried.
It is a red wine. Yes.
It is from the Sea of Galilee.
Straight from the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Yeah, that's in Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yes.
Galilee
by the sea.
There you go.
Sip's very easy though.
First couple sips, I really like it.
There's no
actually really smooth.
There's no back end bite.
No, it is smooth, and it's usually around this time that the moisture in my mouth tends to dry up, and I'm not getting that as much. It seems
I
to
got
be
very little on the tip of my tongue a little bit, but not.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting it on the other part, but yeah, it's not like
super dry.
Right. Go for it.
I get the wood and like the sage and the thyme.
Interesting.
You get sage and thyme.
I definitely get the wood. I let
Anybody-
it sit on my tongue for a little bit.
Brambly.
It's good.
So also it comes in at 14%. So nothing too high. It's definitely not the highest we've done, but it'll get you there.
Not getting. I don't know what wood on my tongue would taste like.
I feel as I drink more though, I'm getting more of that dry on my tongue.
Yeah, I'm feeling it on the sides. So, all right. So right now it's definitely seems to be on a little bit on the dry side, not overly. It's definitely easy drinking. I can though, what'd you say was 14?
14%.
14%. So like there is not going to say burn, but just like warmth as it goes down. Like you can feel it.
This one, I don't know if it's been out longer or not. I feel like out the gate has a much warmer tone to it.
I mean, it's our typical process.
So then maybe it's just the wine.
Maybe it's just maybe those Israelis, maybe they just
It's the warmth of Israel. It's a very warm climate.
yeah.
Tastes kosher.
It says it's kosher for Passover, so that's
Sure
good.
is.
And you know
That's-
what? Beats that Manischewitz.
Yeah, Passover very late this year too.
I know it's April 22nd. I just looked at that too.
I don't even know when Patriots Day is, or
What?
Columbus Day, or Labor Day. I could tell you it's in September, the last one, but
Which one?
it's Labor Day. Yeah, right.
Nailed it.
I don't know, Veterans Day. I think
November
Memorial
11th.
Day
November
weekend.
16th.
Dude, like Jess is like, how do you not know? I'm like, I don't. I just
You also don't work an academic schedule, so I have to know all of
yeah. So I look at my calendar like, huh, I got tomorrow off. Fantastic. Oh, Matt, loving the Wolves jersey, by the way.
I was in the wrong football theme. I was wearing my Jets, and then I saw the Liverpool in the background. I'm like,
No,
even
we're
though
gonna shit.
nobody's going to see this, but you can. So,
We're gonna shit on the Jets a little later, or at least when they
it's
play.
easy to do. I'll join
Yeah.
in on that.
I mean, I have no skin on like actually like as the team,
My
but
pleasure.
more of like
My pleasure.
the host of the
host
World
of
Cup
the
final. So, what brings us all together today? Well, as we talked about, it's obviously lovely to have our first guest, but the more important part is the celebration of the ladies. And as our first iteration, we're going to be celebrating women in soccer, and Jamie here works for none other than MLS team New York Red Bulls.
Yes, I do.
Yay.
Woohoo!
And how do you like it?
I love working for the Red Bulls.
That's
I've been with the club for 12 years now. So clearly they're doing something right to keep. I just started my 13th season.
And what's your position there?
I am the director of marketing partnerships, so heading up sponsorships.
That's like a huge task.
It is. It's a fun one though. It's something that we get to work with. I work with all of our corporate clients and do all like the marketing through the club for them. So it's a lot of fun.
It's a great gig.
So what
Yeah.
what first drew you to the Red Bulls?
Yeah. So 12 years ago, a little story about me. No.
go on.
That,
Tell-
that
what's
this
your
is
story?
this literally this is what we're doing. If we're not having stories about you, like
Yeah.
why the fuck are we here? Right?
I love it. So I always wanted to work in sports. That was like my goal. Did not have any background or fandom in soccer, but I actually worked for the New York Jets, unfortunately. No, they were great for the beginning of my career, but I just wanted to get my foot in the door. So I worked in the ticket sales department and unfortunately worked in the ticket sales department for the New York Jets during the NFL lockout. So from there, at that point, I had been I moved to New Jersey from Connecticut, had an apartment, didn't know where to go from there once the Jets no longer needed a sales team, and found my way over to the Red Bulls in their ticket sales department. So again, just wanted to get my foot in the door working in sports, got a job in the ticket sales department in January of 2012.
And just grinded your way to your position.
Grinded. Yeah. There was an opening in the partnerships department for a temporary position, and I knew sales just wasn't going to be for me. So luckily I interviewed for that. It was October through December, and I said, I need to prove myself and prove my worth. And from there, I got myself a full-time gig. Just worked my way up.
I mean, if you ever wanted a definition of a people person, it's Jamie. So you are
Love talking. Love
why,
people.
hey, yeah, it's not just about talking, right? It's being able to empathize with someone just from the early outsets. And, obviously it was how long before we actually met in person? Everything was obviously you talk to my lovely wife almost on a daily basis. So a lot of our interactions were from the phone, and it was always like very organic and very natural, and it just bloomed from there. So obviously we can see your skill set used on a day-to-day basis. So it's no wonder that you do so well with the New York Red Bulls.
Thanks.
You are very welcome.
That's so kind of you.
I'm gonna blow so much smoke up your ass. You're gonna be flying through the ceiling by the end of the episode.
Matt's
Yep,
like,
Matt,
please
get
don't
ready.
do that.
Get ready. You're gonna just get ready. You might want to go outside and just build a pedestal because she's gonna need to stand on the end of this. This is a celebration, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So a couple of things. Obviously, I've had some brainstorms, had some time to think about this. You've obviously talked about we've talked about Tyler Adams and what's it like, so from a personal perspective, obviously knowing that he came up through the Red Bulls organization, what was it like for you seeing him captaining Team USA?
Oh my gosh, I was so proud to just
Did you cry?
I think I shed a tear watching him
okay.
out there, but I mean, I just think back to his first goal with the Red Bulls was against Chelsea.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And he was 16, and I remember that so vividly of a 16-year-old just coming on the pitch and scored a goal against them. So that's just a memory I will always remember. So then seeing him up there, I'm like, it's crazy. And he started with our youth camps, I think when he was 3 or 4 years old, something like that. And just worked his way through the system. So watching him, I'm just very a proud moment, like a proud mom almost.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not his mom, but.
So what's your day-to-day interactions with the players, if any? What's the proximity you have to them on any given day?
So it honestly depends on the sporting side and the coaches. And I've been through a bunch of different coaching staff, but I can say that this new coach for this year has been wonderful. But the way that our group interacts with the players is by doing appearances for clients, meet and greets. Sometimes we'll bring them on meetings, and the guys are always so nice. They're very they want to be involved. They want to be out in the community. So a lot of the things that I do is really, it's fun because the players enjoy it. So a lot of public facing appearances.
That's fascinating because I feel like most people would be surprised by that they would be so easygoing and outgoing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think
soccer players prima donnas.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. If you look at just sports in general, different sports around the US and then the MLS, these players might not be as well known as an NFL or NBA player, excuse me. So
basketball's trash, so no worries there.
Agreed. But yeah, they love it. They love when fans recognize them. They interacting with them. They love the questions. There are some of the players that come from international teams, so they have a different mindset. But for the most part, they're all super nice. And, I've been through different sporting groups where the players will see me and know who I am. I just did an appearance with somebody over the weekend and, how's the baby? I saw he's 6 months, really knows us, which is nice because it really brings the front office together with the sporting side.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So talk us through I guess what's your typical day on a game day, let's say? Not obviously there's a lot behind the scenes in the office when it's not, but game day, what is your routine or something like that?
Yeah. So the way that I explained it to Matt years ago when we first started dating was
you woman-explained it to him?
I had to explain to him not what sponsorships are, but just the things that we do behind the scenes and on match day. So when you see all the LEDs running or all the branding, that's our team, making sure that those are running at certain times, what's running, making sure the creative looks good and it meets the board. So anything that you see in match, whether it's on TV or in real life, anything that's corporate sponsor related is our team. Match days vary just depending on what's going on, but we do a lot of experiential activations. So
Sorry, what were those 2 words you just said?
Experiential activations.
That
Yeah,
you're
you've
gonna-
learned the word
you're gonna- you-
activation.
I mean, activation. The first one I was just like, I don't know what that means.
I was gonna imply because I didn't know if they were real words.
They're real words. You can experiential. So like
Experiential.
when you do a fan fest or like you see like
Yeah.
pregame stuff, sponsors come to that. Our marketing team does their own things too, but sponsors will come and set up a tent. They'll give out tchotchke items like keychains or phone cases with their logo on it. We coordinate that. There's also like soccer kicking games that are like presented by somebody, and just making sure that those are all good. Then we'll do client entertainment. So we'll take clients down for warm-ups to watch the players warm up. We have them stand in the tunnel. Sometimes we coordinate a coin toss or a match ball delivery. So someone will take the ball out. And then our team also oversees all of our premium suites. So making sure all the hospitality is top
And
notch.
who's the biggest wig? Can you name drop?
Sponsor
or
wise?
is- No,
No,
like
like
in one of the
person.
suites.
Mm.
Like who's like probably like the biggest one where you're just like, oh damn, we got so and so in the house.
I'm trying to think of like, we have a foreign exchange trading company partner, Forex, Rwanda. They're our sleeve patch partner. So when they're there, it's like big deal. Heineken beer. They have a
Oh.
suite.
Not like
Um,
celebrity wise, like
Yeah, I
Oh,
was thinking
so-
like more like
So
I was
we
thinking
did
more like
have-
Taylor Swift or something.
like here's CeeLo
Oh, wow.
Green.
Yeah.
Like I don't
know.
Well, our biggest last year, we had The Rock come. Was it last year?
That's-
No, I think it was 2
Just
years ago.
American
It
hero.
doesn't matter when it is. Dwayne, that's you lead with that, not Heineken
Rock-
or whatever the first one you just said.
I think it was 2 years ago. All the years blend to me, but yes, The Rock came, and that was
Yeah.
crazy.
The
Yes.
most electrifying man in sports entertainment
Oh,
today.
just-
That's what
Yeah.
you go with. That's what our Vino Volley listeners want to hear.
Sorry, I stumbled on that one, but
So let that one slide.
did not interact with him. But I heard he was one of the nicest people that has been to the arena.
That's
what I like
like
to hear.
that's like I think one of the biggest things is like you love to hear, right? You never
Yeah.
want to find like the guy that you just like you idolize or just like really find entertaining and then just find out like they're just an asshat, which I think like him, John
Yeah.
Cena, like those guys like just seem genuinely
Like
just
nice.
like good dudes and just, so
Yeah.
that's always
He was so happy to be there. He also like took videos and like did a live video and posted on his Instagram, like
yeah,
which was also really cool for us because our stadium was in it.
that is cool. That is very cool. But
yeah, The Rock.
this podcast isn't about The Rock. So we'll give The Rock a shout out. I'm probably going to tag him just for fuck shits and giggles. Who knows?
Good.
But it's about you. So the other thing we wanted to, obviously you worked at Red Bulls during the time of Thierry Henry.
I did.
And so, I mean, a legend of the game. Any memorable stories about him or just like how he was as just like a human being?
So, I mean, Terry was awesome as a
Yeah.
player and as a person. I didn't do too many appearances with him because that was my first year with the club. So I was more in ticket sales and wasn't as player facing at the time. But anytime we saw him, he was always nice, like giving people pound when you saw him in the hallway. I was there when he did. I don't know if you guys have seen or heard of his, I think it's called the Olympico goal that he had, where he scored a goal from a corner kick. It was probably one of the more memorable moments for the Red Bulls and Thierry, but Google it if you haven't. I'll send you the link. That was probably one of the most memorable things because it was at a home match. It was insane, but flat out took a corner kick and scored a goal.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've also heard he has a huge wang. Any validity to that?
Can't confirm or deny.
Matt, can you confirm that? No, we were so.
You
I
heard it
was-
first.
Well, yeah, because we obviously we chat
Thierry
with
Henry
my
flinging a massive snake.
yeah, like so
Yeah.
that's like that's the thing. It was just like I was talking to my buddy Pat, and he's like, yeah, like we were talking about Thierry Henry, like a legend of the game, like does great on the CBS team for the Champions League, and then he's like, and word on the street is he's just got an absolute mallet that goes like down the street and around the corner. It's like must be
I
fucking.
wonder
nuts.
where he heard that from.
He has a
I don't
baguette
know.
in his pants.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a big French baguette.
You got to figure something like that has some validity.
So if you're a
He'll send you a
listener, if you're a
message.
listener, TT, just like a thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of
Tell us about your pee-pee.
comment on the the post would be great. Greatly appreciate it too.
And he's been back a couple times since he's left the club, which has been nice too, just from like an alumni perspective.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he came. Well, he's also coached a different team, so he came for that. But we had him out.
Was it when he coached Monaco? That didn't end well.
Montreal.
When Thierry Henry
He
was
was
coaching
in
Monaco.
Montreal too.
Oh, right. Yep. I
Yeah.
remember. Okay. Yeah.
But he's also like come back, not often, but when he's around, we always try to reach out to him to do like some type of appearance at the arena.
So here's a question. Speaking of appearances, do like Thierry Henry, does he get paid for the appearance?
Yes. Most of the time. If it's more of like volunteer for like charity,
Okay.
some of the players will just offer to do it. But there is an appearance fee. It's through the MLS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like the fee depends on if it's a national sponsor, if it's a local sponsor, where it is, all the fun details. But yeah, most of the time they're paid.
So we've obviously talked about, Tyler Adams, Thierry Henry, and you talked about that amazing goal. But can you think of like a moment in your career that you've just like really stays with you as something that's like a cherished memory in working at the club?
I have a lot because I've been there for so long, but it would I've been there for 3 Supporter Shields wins. So we won in 2013, 15, and 18. I would say 2015 was a big one because it was the first year Jesse Marsh coached the club.
God,
and
I love Jesse Marsh.
Same. Big fan of Jesse.
He's
a great person.
He should be the U.S. men's national coach, hands down.
Yep. I second that.
But anyway, I don't mean to steal.
No, he's wonderful. So that Supporter Shield win is coming off of him starting after we parted ways with our former coach, Mike Petke, who was a fan favorite. So fans did not like Jesse when he first started. There was a lot of comments and social media posts around their dislike for Jesse, even though they didn't know him. He coached the team into a Supporter Shield victory. So for me, that was like a really cool moment because he was a good coach, but also a really good person. So that was a lot of fun to watch. And then it wasn't a home game, but when Bradley Wright Phillips scored his 100th goal with the club, that's just a memorable moment in watching that happen. Bradley's also a very great guy. And I remember when he scored, he had our equipment manager at the time. He was on track to score 100 goals. So he had him press a jersey that had the number 100 on the back. So he wore that underneath his jersey and took it off. I think he got in trouble for it, but it was really fun.
Yeah, we've talked about how dumb it is that you get a yellow card for taking your shirt off. So I mean, something like that. What a memorable moment. Well worth the yellow card. But those are some cool experiences. A lot of good shout outs, by the way. We got so far Thierry Henry, The Rock, Tyler
just
Adams,
here to name
Jesse
drop.
Marsh. I'm just gonna be like, this is gonna be the biggest tag social media post I think in the Vino Valley history.
You definitely have to tag Jesse. Jesse's the best.
I thought he got such a raw deal at Leeds, and he's just like his style of play. Now because I just saw it, he was doing a podcast as well. He was the last coach to hand Liverpool a defeat at Anfield. So Leeds was the last team to beat Liverpool at Anfield. Since then, they have gone on an unbeaten run, and that remains true to this day. But I thought he definitely got like a raw deal. I love the fact he brought in a bunch of kids from Tyler Adams.
Yeah.
He brought Weston McKennie before he left on a loan, and then who's the Aronson. All those 3 kids, like, just love seeing Americans playing in the Premier League. I loved his style of play. I just thought like they had great ball movement, but they couldn't score. So big Jesse Marsh fan, and maybe he likes drinking wine and talking about who he wants to punch in the face. Who knows? We never know.
We'll give him a call.
Yeah. If you got him on speed dial, be like, hey Jesse, like, I got a great podcast for you. Gave you a nice,
not a big deal or anything.
Not a big deal.
I mean, you never know. He could do it.
You do never know. Sometimes you know. Sometimes you know, though.
he just reminded me. Jesse had me over for dinner one night early in my career when he coached. That's another memorable moment, but
Did
it
he
was
cook?
He did.
What did he cook?
He made salmon and
dish.
what was it?
Class
Salmon and
act.
string beans. Yeah, he found out I was doing a player appearance with Damien Paranel, who is a former player, French player, and it was in
Bonjour.
the town that Jesse was living in. And so that day, our GM came into the office and he was like, "Jesse wants you to go there for dinner." And I was like, "What?" And he said,
What a
"Well, he
guy.
found out you're going to do a player appearance around the corner from his house, so you have to go." And I was like, "I'm not going to Jesse's house for dinner. Like, this is crazy." But
How charming
Damien
was he?
and I ended up going. And we had dinner with his wife, kids. Couldn't have been nicer. He does like wine, so never know.
I mean,
Mm.
Why do you keep shaking your head? I know this
Don't
is an audio
you.
medium, but I can't
He's
help
just in
seeing.
awe.
She's so well connected. It's unbelievable.
I
Like,
mean,
she
talking
just
about Jesse
yeah.
Marsh like they're drinking buddies, just like, oh yeah.
Right.
oh.
I remember
I
she's
do
like,
his kids'
"I'm
birthday
going to
parties
Jesse
and-
Marsh's house for dinner tonight." I'm like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, in Princeton." I'm like, "Okay."
See
Just
you
so
later.
like,
Cool.
wow, yeah.
I'll just be patrolling
the
the
Red
streets and
Bulls-
keeping them safe. By the way, Matt Smith, shout out law enforcement. Appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is
Yeah.
about women today, but can't help but
Get a shout out too, babe.
yeah.
I appreciate that.
He deals
You
with me, so and other folk. But
So another question in regards to your job. I think everyone wants to know.
Everybody wants to know, apparently.
Where do they keep the wings? Red Bull.
the wings.
Gives
It
you
gives you
wings.
wings.
It
You gotta
gives you
drink
wings.
it.
I'm just saying, like,
Right.
where do they keep them?
And do
Straight in the can.
Matt and Jamie, you can do with me a collective big sigh.
I told Mike that question
Yeah, I was
last
just
week,
like,
and like that was his reaction. He's like, "Oh God, yeah, sure, you can." Have
Where are
some."
the wings? You know,
Where are the wings?
they're in the can. You gotta drink Red Bull,
And
and then you'll find
what's
out.
the access?
Well,
where's
that
the access
actually-
to Red Bull?
I was so
What is the access to Red Bull?
Like,
Go
is
ahead.
is it just like everywhere?
this so again, two-parter. So
Now I'll
do you
answer
get
that one.
access? Do you get access to free Red Bull? Second part, can I get access to free Red Bull?
First part, yes. Second part, yes. Fun fact.
Really?
If you like Red Bull.
The
Yeah.
sugar-free Red Bull, I'm down. I'm down.
Okay.
It's the best one.
Yeah, it
Sugar-free?
is.
I agree.
Yeah, it's 10 calories. It's not as much on it's not as pungent. It's
I had a
fantastic.
sugar-free Red Bull
Doesn't
today.
hurt your teeth.
None of
Yeah.
them hurt your teeth.
Hey, hurt
I
your
can't remember the last time I had a Red Bull. Actually, it was probably with the Jaeger bomb,
Ugh,
and that was
what
probably
a way to ruin a
20
good,
years ago.
good
I had a
Red Bull with
sugar-free Red Bull this
Jaeger.
afternoon. So there are Red Bull fridges in every single office in the building
There we go.
and in all suites. Yeah.
Can you
Damn.
elaborate on said Jaeger bomb story?
Oh no, we drank a lot of Jaeger bombs in college.
Okay. Fair.
That
It
was
just-
that and
that-
Sparks, which is amazing. My
Oh
heart's
my
still
God,
going.
Sparks.
What's Sparks?
It was
Sparks
like
is what
Energy.
Four Loco became.
Oh, Four Loco,
Right,
yeah.
So Sparks was a precursor to Four Loco. Except Four Loco has no sugar. Sparks was just like a fucking pixie stick.
Why do I
Yeah.
feel like it sounds
I-
familiar?
And that's how we start the night.
I once did a Jaeger bomb out of a Tostito scoop. Fun fact, if you don't drink it quickly, it gets soggy.
How do you do a Jaeger bomb out of a chip?
So the Tostitos scoops. So you pour the Jaeger and the Red Bull into the scoop, and a smart person, a not drunk person who didn't decide to do this would just pop it in quickly. But we decided to hold it, take a picture, then cheers. And so by the time we popped it in our mouth, the chip disintegrated, and you were just chewing Tostito Jaeger. It was just it was an awful experience, but one that
Sounds
talk about
terrible.
those memories you cherish. Yeah.
We paid a lot of money for that education.
Cherished memories of Tostito Jaeger bomb.
Yes. Yes.
So there's Red
Um,
Bull everywhere.
Red Bull everywhere. Love it.
So like, do you
drink it. You got to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
Why not?
Yeah.
So do you guys like to a tally on okay, so all the fridges are stocked like on a day. Do you
Yeah.
have any idea like how many Red Bulls like you as an organization or on like game day like people go through?
No, but it's not a bad project to give somebody. We do
We
get
just
it
gave some of the
stocked
most
like every
tedious-
week. Yeah. I'm going to call our interns and ask them to count.
Don't tell
No,
them
but
who,
we do
who
always
gave you that
say-
idea.
Yeah. They we always say, like, when an intern starts or when we have a new person start, a lot of times, like, oh, yeah, I don't drink Red Bull. Or we had somebody that was like, I don't drink caffeine. So, like, they didn't even have coffee.
Get the fuck out.
3 weeks in, they're drinking 2 a day. I'm like,
Two
cool.
oh
Good
God.
try. I mean, I limit myself to 1.
Yeah. It's so like
But
me, I mean, coffee in general hits me pretty hard. I'm not like, I'll have it sporadically. So like a Red Bull is like, it's got to be early enough, got to have had a big enough meal. Otherwise, my heart will feel like it's damn
I
near
feel like,
pounding out through my
yeah.
chest. Do you ever partake in an affogato?
So, funny story.
What's that?
Have just recently come across affogato,
Oh,
and
you're
holy
welcome.
amazingness, but have
Yeah.
never had one. So the Italian restaurant in town where I work, who I'm very close with the owners, I stopped there when I'm working night shift. I'm like, Tony and Jerry, I'm like, you guys got to start doing affogato. Because I'll just randomly come across videos of affogato. I'm like, what is this awesomeness?
Yeah.
And it's just the cream and
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
magical.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah. So magical. Yeah.
need to partake.
I never even
My,
heard of that.
Yeah,
I guess my last question is regards to the soccer aspect of things.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know your proximity to the players on like a daily basis or game days and stuff. Do you have any weird traditions or superstitions some of the guys on the team have?
No.
Okay, I don't know if it
I'm
like came
thinking
through the
though. I'm
grapevine,
thinking.
like
So and so does this.
Was it like Serrano from Major League? As he's like, he
Yeah.
wants us to sacrifice a whole chicken. He's like, maybe just get him a box of KFC. Like, well, yeah.
No, I
marbles.
feel like that's such a boring answer though, but I actually don't know.
Good question, though.
It's a really
That is
good
a-
question. I'm just trying to think, like, because we talk about pregame rituals. We've done like pregame like playlists, like what's the music that they listen to.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Any real jams? Like they just
Yeah.
listening to jock jams?
Yeah.
That they're pretty like
these kids were old enough when Jock Jams came out.
Well, yeah, and we have the youngest team in the MLS. Like our average age
Ah.
is like, I
They
forget what it
probably-
is now. It's young. I want to say
They
it's like
probably listen to
17,
trash.
18. Probably
I-
now.
I
But the
don't-
players back in the day, I'm trying to think of what they would do. They always hit so we have a bull in the center of the player tunnel. So when they walk out, they walk by that.
What do they slap? They slap the bull's ass, the
side,
horns.
maybe.
It's boring.
Good question though. And now I'm like, I'm gonna ask the questions now in their survey.
I
What's
think
your pregame ritual? But they're all just like, it's funny because being there so long, like we've just seen so many different regimes and different players and just different styles that like the biggest thing is just the youngest team in the MLS. And like I look at them, I'm like, you're babies. Like there's one
Yeah.
kid that we just signed and he can't play because he's
it's got
16.
school.
Well, he's 16 for another 2 weeks and our games are at 7:30, so he can't play past 8 p.m. So he hasn't been able, so he can't play a game.
It's like a work permit thing.
That's incredible. We talk
Yeah.
about like I would say, I mean, it's got to be out of all sports. It's got to be the ones from a professional level that give debuts to the youngest kids.
Yeah.
And it's so like it skews everything because like we always talk about when we talk about Liverpool, but James Milner, and we're like the guy looks fucking 49 and he's younger than us, and it's just like God damn it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's so that's
And that's like the big thing with the Red Bull as an organization. Like they want young players, they want players through the system. So we always get why don't you have star players? When are you signing somebody like a Messi? When are you like we had the days of Thierry Henry, Rafa Marquez, BWP. Like we've done that, but that's not the philosophy of Red Bull.
And you know what, Jamie? I could not be happier with that answer because one of my biggest this is my personal opinion. My biggest issue with the MLS is that it should be a breaking ground for young players to get these minutes, to show their stuff, and then be able to potentially move on to other leagues to further their career. I don't from a US men's national team perspective and from I don't like us being considered the retirement league where a guy like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Lionel Messi, they're in like the twilight years of their career and they're like, oh, I'll just go to MLS and dominate. And it just, I feel like it, as like an American, I just feel like it makes us look a little bit more laughable. And I would
Correct.
just love that we be what we are and be like a farm system for young talent to come through, get minutes where they're not going to in these other leagues, and potentially, be like a Tyler Adams that puts the
Yeah.
work in and gets to that next level to then come back and represent your country and be all the better for it. So I love what Red
Yeah.
Bulls is doing. I think that's awesome. One, I did have.
Atlanta.
Mm.
What about
It was
Atlanta?
it was like Almiron when he was with Atlanta. And
Yeah.
went to, Newcastle
Yep. There's, so you had Miazga.
well.
I mean, that
I
was
was just gonna say
Chelsea.
Matt Miazga. I think he's on Cincy again this year, but he was back with Cincy. He's another great like story. But I mean, Tyler's our
Yeah, I
picture
mean,
perfect.
but like
Exactly. That's exactly what the planet should be.
that's exactly
Yeah.
what it should be. So I think that's awesome. My one last question is, how do you feel about having the World Cup final right in your own backyard?
I love it. I think it's gonna be super exciting. I think it's exciting for soccer just in general, being in the US in general. For us, we're building a new training complex that's set to open next year. So the fact that the finals going to be here, we don't know anything, but I'm very hopeful that our facilities will be used, which I think is really cool. And just having it here, I think it's going to be a lot of traffic and a lot of logistics that the state will need to figure out, but having it here is really cool.
Now, how far are you from the actual stadium?
So where we live is what, like 40 minutes,
35 minutes. Yeah.
So
35 minutes.
Matt works near the stadium, so
Yeah.
he has almost not opposite view, but different views because he'll be dealing with all the people.
Dude, Godspeed to you, Matt. That's
Yeah.
gonna be fuck. I mean, you say it's gonna depend also on what teams are in the final.
Yeah.
You got to figure. I mean, best bet probably France is going to be one of the teams. I mean, they made it to the last few finals and they're not getting any less potent. But yeah, so good luck on that one. I mean, I'm assuming on that it's like mandatory, all hands on deck, like everybody's working.
Well, for you?
For who? Her or
For
me?
for you, Matt.
It's still far out, but I mean, I guess manpower will be up, I would guess. I mean, there's just so many hotels in the immediate area. I mean, especially in the town I work into, but just the surrounding areas where MetLife is, that it's just going to be what Jamie was saying, the logistics behind it, and people will literally come from their home country to here, and then the restaurants, hotels, and when you go on your vacation, quote unquote, like, rules don't apply, and I'm not from here, so I don't know, like, how can you,
Do you think that
there's going to be that fun aspect to it too? So,
do you think that you would pull in like resources from other departments to like handle the?
So MetLife is on state police property and outside, so everything that falls out is just all municipalities. But God forbid something happens, all these towns are just right next to each other. Like, it's just, there's so many shared roads and stuff like that.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Now, funny.
So my goal is by then I'll have some seniority. I'll just pretty much take off all of July and just not have to deal with it.
That would be nice.
And get to enjoy it from a fan aspect, not a working aspect.
I'm so excited, though.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna try and get tickets.
Cool, it really is gonna be cool because again, you'll get so many people from all over the place. You'll meet people and stuff like that. But then again, you'll deal with the late night nonsense.
And there's always going to be pros and cons. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. Like, I know we've got it's got 5 group stage games, a round of 32 and a round of 16. I want to get tickets, but like I was like, even if I don't get tickets, I might just like go to like the tailgates, just experience.
Just like go to the parking lot or something. Like, yeah, so, I mean, just working in the industry, it's like, it's wild. Like, just knowing that the World Cup is coming to the US is one thing too. Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, the finals. It was either going to be the finals or I think it was like 8 games would have been played at MetLife or something like that.
8 games are being played at MetLife.
Oh,
I think 9 total at AT&T.
Got it. Yeah, it was between us and AT&T in Texas. So it was, I say us, like I work at MetLife, but basically. So
I think
No,
there's
it's
gonna be
gonna
a
be a lot
big
of
perception of or perspective of passion from everybody traveling to come see their
yeah,
country play
Oh.
and stuff like that. So that's gonna be really cool to see, like
yeah. Well,
the fan perspective and just
And-
the loyalty to that and stuff like that
Yeah.
would be pretty cool.
and we
too.
host so Red Bull Arena hosts international matches a lot. So we've like had the US men's national team play friendlies. US women's national team has played a bunch of matches. They've done like their World Cup tour before they go to the World Cup in previous years, and those get
cool.
like packed. We have Ecuador and Italy are playing next weekend.
Oh, no
Oh.
good.
Yeah, so that sold out instantly. And then Ecuador and Guatemala are playing. We've had a lot of
That game. So
international
I
finals.
I used to work with a guy from Ecuador and Guatemala, and like the World Cup would come around, and like they would be borracho 24/7. Like they just like they'd come to work like with their national jerseys on, just like chanting the songs, and then just like puking in a trash can. And I was just like, at that time, I wasn't like really a fan, but I was like, hey man, I love your passion. Like I wish I had it.
Love the energy.
I love the
Yeah.
like, yeah, but it was
Yeah.
incredible. So I can only imagine like those games must
International games are like
be incredible.
I've worked a bunch. I actually was listening to I don't know which episode you guys were talking about it, but you mentioned the Vuvuzela or Vuvuzela, whatever,
Oh my
however you
God,
pronounce it.
Vuvuzela,
Yeah, that
Oof.
That was
Those come through quite
was
often. at
episode
international-
3. That was episode 3, the lighter side, as we were talking about some of the more funnier
Yeah.
like records and stuff and
the 2004 World Cup.
Yeah,
Which one?
South Africa.
it was South
Australia?
Africa. I can't remember the year. I mean, those
That was
I literally scrounged the internet for those.
Yeah, but
some of
watch
Well,
them.
the
games on TV, it's all
Vuvuzela
you
comes
heard.
through, and it is the most obnoxious noise.
Oh, it's awful.
in
It's
the
awful.
world.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you come to Red Bull Arena after an international match, you would
They're
think
just
you were
all
in
over.
like
Yeah.
they're all over, but there's trash everywhere. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
we
that's the
have
annoying
one.
side.
There's an international game next Thursday, and then we play Miami on Saturday. So operations has some work to do.
Yeah.
But
That's-
it is fun. It is fun seeing people support their countries.
I think, and one, I will say, I truly appreciate you guys being on this to be able to talk about your experience with Red Bulls, to be able to appreciate you as we appreciate women in this month.
Every day we appreciate women.
Nope, no, really, just
And you're
Pick
our
up the
first
day.
guest. Like,
Thanks
this is a
for
big deal.
appreciating me.
yes.
Just
So,
today.
to that, as we kind of wrap up your experience with the New York Red Bulls, is there any last minute things you'd like to say about your career? Any thoughts about?
I mean, I've had a wonderful career and I love the Red Bulls. It's a great organization to work for. So it's like I said, I've been through a lot of different changes, but it's been a fun ride, and I'm in lucky number 13 this year. So just gonna keep it going.
Beautiful. Well, we appreciate that. And as always, when we wrap up our first topic of the night, we kind of turn back to the wine and see if it's changed as time has gone on. So how about we get your thoughts again? Do you, as it's opened up a little bit, are you getting any more notes? Anything like that you want to share with the
I
listeners
feel like
out there?
the smell is stronger now. For sure.
It's juicy.
Oh
Mm,
yeah, big juice.
It is juicy.
Big juice.
I'm getting a lot of fruit on the nose.
Yeah.
It stayed pretty. I mean, I feel it stayed pretty consistent.
With the wood.
Yeah, it hasn't. I don't think it's changed. I'm like
Changed too
I feel
much.
like do I like need to fucking take a bite out of old Ironsides to like get the? I don't understand what you guys are talking about the wood. Do you guys do you eat like a lot of toothpicks or something? I'm not-
No, but
Well,
just like after being in my wood shop, I'm like,
You just taking spoonfuls of sawdust? Like what is it? What does that mean?
no, if I forget
What
to
does
put
it
my mask
mean?
on.
like wood.
Like,
I
You
don't
say
eat
that
wood.
like you can't just
Yeah,
be
but
like,
no,
oh, right,
remember-
wood. Oh yeah, yeah,
remember with the red flowers
wood.
thing?
yeah.
I think it's like a sensory thing where you see a red flower, but what would that also taste like? Seeing is believing, Mike.
So you're seeing a piece of wood.
Magic.
Do I? smell
You're
burnt toast?
imagining what
Am
the
I,
wood
am I,
would
am I
taste
stroking out right now? Is my left arm tingly?
Is my left arm tingling?
Joking out.
I really
No,
like
I got
this.
wine in my left hand. We're good. It is. It's a.
I like
tasty
this wine. It's so smooth.
There's not there's
Give
not
me that.
anything that like is jumping out to me. Like it's not like I'm getting an overpowering of like raspberry. It's just like it's like just a jam of just
Yeah.
red and black fruit, and
Yeah.
it's
dark
like
fruits.
really good legs, really good color. It is, I would say that I've probably, as you said it, Matt, I've probably noticed it a little bit more drier than I originally thought. Like I can just like on the sides and the front of my tongue, like you
Mhm.
just I'm getting it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think everything that wine.com said is kind of it's just it's a good everyday
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with it's a party wine.
It is a party
Yeah.
wine. And the fact that it said it goes with Mediterranean food, which again is bumping my score up a little bit. In my head.
I would smash a glass of this with with eating like Lebanese, Syrian food, or
Nuts.
maybe, a nice alaka.
Alaka. Anything goes with alaka though.
I'm sure I sent you the picture. We went to that Jewish deli.
Yes, for your birthday.
Holy shit.
Except for
God.
you had tuna, or I think she had tuna fish, and I was like, come on.
I did not. I literally ate
I'll
a
show you the
pound of
picture.
pastrami and corned beef in a sandwich. Like that
She sent me the
thing.
picture, and I was like, come on.
Pastrami on rye, baby.
It looks
Yeah, there's a
so
legit
good.
place in Framingham that is very well known.
Thank God I have the bidet because I needed some assistance to get the problem out after all that meat. God damn. But it was
there's my
so like the other thing, and I don't know if this is this a thing with like at Jewish delis, but like they're like, oh, like you can get French fries and potato salads. Like I asked the waitress, I was like, what would be your choice? And like, how you kind of get like the half-hearted, like, oh, like I don't know. This woman, this was like the Sophie's choice of sides. Like she was just like, oh my God, that's so tough. She's like, potato salad. It's different. I was like, all right, I'll do the potato salad. But then it came with the side of just like pickles.
I
And
was
like,
just
like,
gonna say
is that a
like,
thing?
you gotta do
that is the side is pickles.
But
Right?
like multiple, like it was two massive kosher dills, two half sours, and then like
Yep.
I was like, I
Yep.
just ate
No, it's gonna cut through the meat.
yeah, but I ate a pound. It wasn't in the sandwich. It was just
No, I
on
know,
a
but you gotta
plate.
use it to
Yeah.
supplement, cut through the
I
meat. You
ate
gotta
a
use the
pound
acid.
of meat in a sandwich. I'm not eating 6 pickles. It
Bird
was
chef.
it was.
You
Well,
gotta
then
use
you're
the pickle
wrong.
to cut through all the
I
meat.
mean, I am.
You have to, yeah. So I was when you were going back and forth in my head, I'm like, no, the side is pickles. But
I mean,
I was letting you
pickles.
say it. I knew it was
Yeah.
coming. I felt it.
I think it's excessive. If I had one critique,
But at Jewish delis, the pickles
they were delicious.
And I like the half sours, so
Hell
They
yeah.
were delicious, but I'm
Yeah.
not eating 4 of them.
Why not?
well,
Did you see a picture of that sandwich?
I did.
All right,
It
you
was-
know
it
what?
was-
On the social media post, so everybody can get as an audio. I'm showing a picture of this sandwich because it was something special. But
It
you could
looked
also see if I
amazing.
took that whole thing down, why 4 massive pickle slices might not be just like. They also made their own raspberry lime Ricky. Oh, delicious. So
well, next time you can just send the pickles to me because I can eat like a container of pickles and
I'll
I
ship
love
them.
pickles.
So, any other notes you can
All the
think of
pickles.
for the wine?
No, but thanks
I
for
mean,
giving me a reason to drink wine on a Tuesday night.
You are so, trust me, if you ever need a reason to drink wine on like a Tuesday or Thursday, let us know. We'll have you on again and you can just suck down a bottle. We'll figure it out. But
Easy.
it's been so long. February was
so-
all about
I'm
love.
so
We're ready to bring the hate, bring the malice. It is time for our favorite part, the Backpfeifen Gesicht, who we want to punch in the face. And the team that we are going to be talking about is none other than Matt's beloved Wolverhampton Wanderers. So, as you are our guests, I think it's only polite to let you go first to talk about who you would want to punch in the face and why.
Not fair.
He looks.
I'm also going to interject with how
Yeah.
long you've been a Wolves fan. Set the table a little bit.
Oh yeah, actually, I think it's a good story of how you fell into it. So enlighten us, Matt.
So I became a Wolves fan because Jamie's colleagues at work all followed EPL, and I was always a big fan of soccer, but never got into EPL. I would just watch, but never had a team to follow. Who like Chelsea, who like Arsenal, big city, obviously, like your Liverpool, And so I'm like, I would always watch Premier League mornings. I would always see you and Eleanor and of the sorts. But I think this was even pre-Eleanor, obviously now. But
Yeah, I think because we first started talking about it when we were in Ireland for our wedding.
yeah,
Like
so
really
definitely
talking about it, yeah.
definitely pre-Eleanor.
Yeah,
but,
for any family members who are listeners.
So
we were
every
married
time I
first.
would turn on a match on Saturdays, whether it was 7:30, 10, 12:30, for whatever reason, the Wolves were just always playing. I would just watch, pure coincidence. I didn't know any better. So after about the 6th or 7th match, when we were, when we first had our first apartment together, I would just have the game on and I would just walk around the apartment and just like wherever she was, I'd stick my head in and just be like, Wolves, Wolves. And she would just get to the point of, shut up with the Wolves. And from there, they stuck. And just by coincidence of me wanting to be a part, something to talk about with her colleagues and turning games on, matches on, what have you.
And then the
They were
epic
just-
story of the day of your wedding, watching
They
the
were just-
Wolves game, and they were down to what, 2-0, and you and I
Oh,
were
yeah.
texting, and
Yeah.
dramatic
came back.
comeback. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good day. Oh, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I just got
I mean, I think I
goosebumps.
still have that text conversation because I was just like, dude, I was like, because I think you were getting ready, so you couldn't.
I was with my
you-
buddies and you and I, Wes, were texting. And that was,
was like,
they won 3. Who was
3-2.
that?
3-2. I think it was Ruben Neves scored like the go ahead goal.
God bless
Yeah.
his soul.
That's tell you what, as far as Wolves,
That
that was a
unreal. I remember
yeah.
texting that with you. Yeah.
And
Man, what a day. What a time to be alive.
What
And
a-
another fun tidbit on the Wolves. Matt was already a fan of the Wolves, and we brought into the New York Red Bulls Kevin Thelwell
Oh.
from the Wolves to be our head of sport in 2020. So and I had no idea that was ever happening, but when I heard about it, I was like, you're never going to guess who we're bringing on as our head of sport. And Kevin, I think his son had still worked there or something during the time. So I pulled some strings and was able to get Matt a team signed jersey and a corner flag from a game used corner flag.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
I
Another
remember
very
the
nice gentleman.
several conversations with my wife of the buildup of like how we're gonna do it.
When
Where,
we're
you know,
gonna
like-
give it.
When to give it, then
yeah,
Yeah.
can't set yourself too high and this and
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Don't-
Mike knew about that way before I
yeah.
gave it to you.
James like, you
Yeah.
can't tell
Thank-
him. I was like, we don't fucking talk that much. I'm not like gonna
I was
go
like,
out of my way and be
"Don't
like,
say
hey, guess what?
anything."
Guess what? This huge
And
surprise
this-
that your wife has for you. I'm
This is the
gonna
first
blow up
jersey
the
she
spot.
got me.
I
Was
like
because
it.
of you, because she was like, should I get him an Adama jersey or a Neves? And you're like, no, just a plain jersey, and that's what this one was.
Yeah, you
And I
can't go with the name.
I know I
have-
have
No.
3 jerseys.
Did you end up buying the Portugal FC one?
I was actually gonna wear
That one
that
I
one
I love that
because
one.
you and I had that conversation.
Yeah, that's a
But
sick jersey.
Just because I had to go with just the old gold for tonight.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But
For all
I-
the
that-
Vino
It's a good looking
Volleys.
kit.
I was
Yeah.
I was tugging on them both. I was like, I just gotta go old gold. So,
Yeah.
but yes, I do have that one, the signed one, a couple scarves. My buddy was there recently. He sent me some stuff, and I got my
That's
son
awesome.
some
Yes,
fresh
swag.
some fresh gear for next season since we're
There you
staying
go.
up.
So, yeah. So, anyway,
Punchable
with
face.
that,
Punchable
Yeah.
thing. Now we're
now it's time. It's
talking-
your. We did Liverpool, and I think we did it. We were about as
We're fair.
we're fair. So
Yeah.
it might hurt. The first cut is the deepest. This is your first time expressing, for your beloved team who you'd want to punch in the face. So, Jamie, would you like to go first? Ladies first. Do you
No.
have? Why?
This
You
is
go
your
first.
this is your day.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jamie, let's hear it.
I mean, I don't know too many of the current players, so I'm going to be honest here. I was looking through.
Hey, we're
The
nothing
team
but
photos.
we're honest,
That's
so-
exactly what I do.
yeah.
I have 2.
Okay, so you went from I don't know many players to there's
Well,
2
I
people
don't,
that
but
I
this is
wanted.
just based off of photos.
She's like, I
But
want to
they're
use
actually
both fists simultaneously and like Superman.
I'm gonna butcher names.
I know I'm gonna get.
But
drafted.
from watching the last game,
okay, if you
Mario
listen to me.
Lemina,
Oh, that's a good one.
Marina, that's a fair one.
his
Very-
hair, like, and listen, players do this like across, like we have players in the Red Bulls too. But like, why you gotta bleach your hair? Like, stop. We're not Eminem, but so that's just like he seems like. I mean, his face isn't terrible, but the hair just got me.
So you really just want to punch him in the forehead and kind of like take
Just
the.
Yeah,
feel
he
like I
looks
just
like
want to
he's-
smack him upside the head a little
All
bit.
right,
And
all
be
right.
like, what do you?
It's not
what
really
are
what
you
we do.
doing?
It's
He's
not,
like
it's not
the
a slap in
odd
the
guy
face, it's
out
punch
in a
the
boy
face.
band. He's like the Chris Kirkpatrick of Wolves. Like he's got the weird blonde and the dreadlocks. He's just like
Gosh,
the homely guy.
That guy was
keep the
holding that
back-
band
sing
together.
back
Who are
up.
you talking about? Come on.
The guy from NSYNC.
Yeah, he was the unsung hero of that.
That is for another day to discuss. Jamie, continue.
And then, well, just looking at pictures, Tom King just kind of looks like a douche.
Hey,
Is he? But he's not. Sorry, Jose Sa's the starter goalie.
Correct.
Is Tom King like good?
oh, it's a backup goalie.
I'm glad I'm not the only
You
one.
lied.
Oh, I was gonna say
Animosity for
Ryan
you don't even know who
loves-
it is? Okay, well, this
no,
is just. I think he's a
Dan-
backup keeper. Well, there's Dan
Ryan
Bentley.
loves-
Dan Bentley. Yeah, he's
Oh.
like third. Yeah.
Okay, well, Tom
Is it-
King looks
He'll
like he'd be a
play
douchebag.
Ryan
all.
loves a good backup goalie. So preaching to the choir on that one. If that's who. it
King
is.
will
Sure do.
back up like Bentley in like an FA Cup match or something. It won't be like Jose.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mario Lemina.
It's a fair answer though.
Love it,
It's a great answer.
Matt.
So I'm gonna go with Jose Sa.
Why?
Oh,
He has a nice face.
No, his face annoys me.
I love it.
And
oh,
a
so it's
funny
not
face.
just like his goalkeeping skills. It's literally we're just going pure physical features. His.
I'll go. Yeah, because like how
If it's the
his
pointy
beard-
red beard, I'm.
It's
I
the
was
pointy
just
red
gonna
beard,
say,
and
is
it
it
just
a
comes
little
to a
self-conscious
triangle,
about it.
and it bothers. No, you have a beard. His is so well manicured
his
into
is
a triangle.
Like it could
Yeah, I
poke
don't
your eye
like it.
out.
I don't
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah,
And
that thing's dangerous.
I hate to say because my God, what magic he has done with his team coming 4 days prior to the start of the season. He just has your standard punchable English
Who?
face and Gary O'Neill. I
It's not
gotta,
the
Was that your pick?
Gary O'Neill? No,
Oh, okay.
no.
Who's that?
but the head coach,
The coach.
the
Oh,
gaffer,
sorry. I thought you were talking about the players.
gaffer.
Sorry.
love him, great manager. But if I had to go, I mean, I don't that I mean that's kind of stretching. But I just think whatever.
Mario Lemina just.
But like
It's-
it's like
One of those things like every time I watch Wolves, I'm surprised that Nuno Espiritu Santo isn't on the sidelines anymore. I know that's been like years
Yeah.
in the past when it was like Portugal North. He just brought every
Yeah.
Portuguese player
It
like
was.
up.
It was
But like
Portugal North.
he will always be the Wolves coach to me.
Yeah.
Where is he now?
Forced.
Nottingham.
That's who we saw the other day. And I said, "Is that the?"
Yeah.
Hmm.
So he's in the battle to keep them up. But yeah, no, I'd go Jose Sa because it's just the perfectly angled,
Is it
manicured.
Jose or Jose?
Jose Sa.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's got like the
I-
Power Leonidas beard. It's like two
Yeah.
triangular.
It's like perfect, but it's like unnecessary. You know, like I
Oh,
get
yeah.
it, very well manicured, but like it's just a triangle.
Yeah, no,
This
it's
is it.
yeah. It looks like if
Wait,
he was
yours
gonna-
is scruffy enough.
You have a beard. He has a.
This is pushed in. Like if I really just like let it, it's
Give it a fluff
it's
job.
like damn near like Tormund's Giants Bane. It's just like. But no, like I fully agree. Like if he was a fighter, he'd like kind of like put the gloves up and then just be like, and just poke you in the eye with his beard and then yeah. So yeah,
Who do you pick for the Wolves?
Rye, would you like to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Rye is just fully
Oh.
torqued.
So it's been well established I don't do a lot of reading or research. I come right off the cuff. What I feel in my gut is what I go with. I sat down for an uncomfortable amount of time looking at pictures of players, and I determined it is young Tommy Doyle.
Oh, he was close.
So as I'm looking at a picture of him, and I jotted down a few things. Tommy Doyle, in the majority of his pictures, looks like he's 54 years old. He is, in fact, 22. If you're, yeah,
He's 22.
that's what I said.
Yeah,
I was like, how is this guy? Is
got
he
some
on the
miles on
coaching
those
staff?
tires.
In every one of his pictures, he looks super distressed. like Rice just got in like the grain or the corn storage for the winter in his like rural town of like John's Bottomville's town. And his prize cow prolapsed again in the field. And he's gonna go out and just fucking like reset the old bag. He actually looks like his own father. Like like Tommy Doyle looks like Tommy Mill's dad. Usually facial hair makes people older, but if you go back and look at his younger pictures from like a few years ago, he actually looks more mature and better looking than he does now. So yeah, I also didn't realize that with his facial hair that he grew, he also earned a cottage in the country, a mortgage, and 7 kids. Because every picture you look at, he's like a dad of 7 very small children. Also, it's been well established due to my wrestling background. I always try to size people up as to give better argument to whom I want to punch. He's 5'7.5", 161 pounds. I am confident that I would win that belt. Mark it down.
Mark it down. Tommy Doyle.
Fuck that guy.
So
Does him being on loan from Man City have anything to do with it as well?
I just found that out
Oh, okay.
15 minutes ago.
as he says, I don't do the reading. That falls into that umbrella.
When I was looking for more pictures to just ramp up, I was like, motherfucker. He's on loan from Man City.
My pick was none, and I was hoping that you didn't. My pick is none other than Matthew Doherty. And for no other reason than the haircut he currently has, which
I agree.
looks like if a mullet and a bowl cut had a love child, that's what that fucking absolute disaster of a mop top looks like. It looks like he went into the barber and said, "Give me the Lloyd Christmas, but front and back."
Hey, he's got the
And then
ear
Joe
rolled up.
Dirt back.
Yeah, but it's just like it doesn't fan out. It's just like it's cut. It's too so here's the thing, like not only did you go into the barber and be like, "This is what I want," but day after day after day, because he could shave his head, and day after day he looks in the mirror and just goes, "Nailed it." And
He's
that's
also not a good looking guy.
no, it's not. But I mean, I don't even get to his eyebrows. I can't get past the top of his head. So it looks like the internet had like a viral reaction. It's like he looks like the man who cuts his own hair. Like that's what this haircut looks like. Really, it's just like someone took like a beaver tail and just fucking whacked it and just glued it to the top of his head. That's how bad this thing is. So also, as I was like doing like the Google searches, shout out to the OG Matt Doherty, who played Averman in the Mighty Ducks. I don't know if the actor Matt Doherty. I don't know if he did anything, but he played Averman. I thought that was so yeah, I think it's the palindrome of ugly haircuts. It's the exact same backwards as it is forwards. Like,
Yeah.
right?
I'm telling you, I'm not fucking with this guy.
It's a hypothetical. Like I don't pick my people. I'm like,
he's tough.
yeah, he's a big
His
dude.
nose has definitely been broken at least
Oh yeah.
2 or
Yes.
3 times.
Yeah.
He's got crazy eyes.
We've also said if this was ever like real, and I'm using air quotes here, I'm going to get a running start from 20 yards while he's looking the other way. And then as I get close, I'm just going, Matt Doherty. And then just absolutely pop him and then just keep running. I'll probably
Run.
dislocate my shoulder, but I'll get one in and keep going. So yeah, for that, my main pick is Matt Doherty. Did that hurt, Matt? Any our picks or?
No,
We're okay.
fair assessments. Fair assessments.
All right.
Yeah.
If we're honest, we're fair. So but yeah, those.
I'll get through this trying.
Yeah. You know what? The beautiful thing is if it is a little hurtful, hey, we have wine. So, but as such, it is that time to give our final thoughts on the wine and a score.
I like it.
It's fine.
Yeah, I enjoyed it straight through. It was pretty balanced, juicy,
Oh, the
Not
scoring is
overly-
fine.
not
The wine's
overly
great.
dry.
Oh, the wine's great.
I'll go like a 7.3.
I was gonna say 7.8.
I'll say 7.3,
All right.
7.4.
So Matt's got a 7.3, Jamie's got a 7.8.
Are we tough graders? I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going?
Yeah.
So I think it is a great for the price. It's a great bottle. It's obviously it's unique. I mean, it's our first Israeli wine, but I like the flavor profile. I like the balance of dryness, the smoothness. Jamie, I agree with you. I'm going 7-8 as well.
Wow.
You're going in the 8s, aren't you?
I sure shit am. I mentally was as high as 8-7.
Wow.
Buddy, the heart wants what it wants. So
no, I'm reeling it back.
don't let ours.
Yeah, don't let
Okay.
it sway you.
I'm gonna go.
I'm always high. I'm very generous.
I bet he's gonna go 8.5.
No.
8-4.
84.99.
We can go. He won't let me go to 2 decimal places. I will go 8-3. 8-3. I think this pairs very well with Mediterranean food. Like it said, I would have loved to have this 4 hours ago with my chicken parm I made at home.
Well, after VAR review, we are officially out of wine and thus must put the final cork into today's episode. So with that, I would like to send a very special thank you to Jamie and Matt for being our first guest and being able to celebrate Jamie as our Women in Soccer. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Us.
Us.
It's already started, Matt. I see it.
It was
I'm
fun.
sorry,
It was
but
good.
I'm
Right?
sick,
Yeah,
you know?
We're there.
So, we appreciate it and wish you all the best with the rest of your, the future of your career. So thank you. All right, Rye. So as we've kind of wrapped things up, man, first guest star. I think it went great.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So
It's a big deal for us.
it is a big deal, and we're gonna let that continue. So a little bit about next episode is as we continue with our appreciation of women. The next one is going to be, as we've mentioned before, is going to be Women in Wine.
Love it.
And we are going to have none other than Christina Musto. So Christina Musto she's the family that we get all of our grapes from when we make our wine that we've mentioned on previous episodes. So she is graciously, her and her husband are going to be our second guests for the month of March. Now, it just so happens that Christina's husband's favorite team is Aston Villa.
Ooh, okay.
So that will be the team that we punch in the face, and as always, in an effort to tie the wine to the episode, because we get our grapes from Christina, I thought it'd be a great time to introduce our wine. So for next episode, we will be drinking none other than Hot Ice.
Hot Ice.
Hot Ice, which is the
I'm so
wine
excited.
we made last year. And so I shipped a bottle out to Christina, so she'll have it as well, so that we can drink and get their thoughts and their tasting notes. So really excited about that. We'll post pictures on that on our social media. Again, as always, you can follow us, Vino Volley 85. And if you need to reach out to us, to write in maybe most punchable face, if you have strong feelings about Aston Villa or just anything in general, vinovolley85@gmail.com. But
Yeah, let's bring hate again.
yeah, right. We're past February. Fuck Valentine's Day. Let's start just punching people.
Bring the anger.
Yeah, bring the heat. So, Rye Guy, I think we've kind of covered everything that needs to be covered. Let's take us to the end.
Folks, always in this month of Women's Appreciation, remember to sip and soccer responsibly. We bid you a Freddie adieu.